Bizarre Brain Comics. Good morning, my fellow comic book friends. And welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your host. And this is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. And this time, we're going to take a look at this graphic novel. It is We Kill Monsters. And as you can probably see, this is a former library copy. I don't even remember where I got it. Of course, I got it secondhand someplace, or probably next to nothing. And where it came from there before that, I don't know. It was originally from a library in Wisconsin. I'm in Colorado, so I have no idea how it got here. And I tell you, this book is much better than I had anticipated. I expected it'll be some silly little thing. It's actually a graphic album, a compilation of a 6-issue miniseries. This is We Kill Monsters from 2010. 6-issue miniseries from Red 5 Comics. Well, I know nothing about Red 5 Comics. I hadn't heard of them until I recently got that box of stuff from Scott Harris King. It had what was it? Atomic Robo in there. That was from Red 5. I hadn't heard of that. So, because I've never seen it and hadn't heard of it. And this is a story, but this is written by Christopher Leone and Laura Harcum, who wrote it, with pencils by Brian Churio and a couple of other various inkers. But it's a comedy horror comic, and I really loved it. I was surprised, and it felt like I was watching one of the science fiction / horror, tongue-in-cheek, slightly comedic movies from the late 80s or early 90s. Think Tremors. That's kind of what it felt like. No, it isn't a Tremor. The story isn't Tremors, but I think you get what I mean. But the writers are writers and TV and movie writers and producers. Yeah, Christopher Leone and Laura Harcum are from television and from the movie industry. And that's probably why it feels like a movie. It feels like one of those movies. That's just the way it is. And the artwork is done by Churio. I was originally not overly impressed. I mean, for the kind of material it's supposed to be, with the strong stylization, very kind of a mildly cartoonish nature of the artwork. And I didn't think it would work, but shortly after I got into it, I completely forgot about the stylization because it works with this kind of material. I didn't think it would. It has some great visual storytelling, nice consistency, and all that. Page layout, everything. And the design of the monsters. I like the design of the monsters. Okay, I'll go through. Okay, and you see these characters on the cover. That is Drew and Jake Basher. They're the Basher brothers. They're our main characters, and they live in a small farming community out in the middle of nowhere. I can identify with that. And they run a small garage, auto repair garage, just a little ways out of town. Oh, that's better. I interrupted and had a pause for a coughing fit. Okay. And that's where it all begins. Then I had a phone call on the house phone. Okay. The Basher Brothers. Run Basher Brothers Auto Repair and Body Shop. You bash them, we fix them. And they're working on their old pickup of their dad's. They lost their dad just a few years before and inherited the shop from them, and they're working on the old pickup, which is also their inheritance. And then they flash back and they remember when they were kids and their dad got after them because they were working on the old pickup then, and he got mad at them, but they got it running. So then they go to Swifty's, a local bar, sees Vanessa. This is Drew's former girlfriend. And she's not happy because one of the reasons they broke up is because the brothers are inseparable. And it really, really hampered their relationship. So she leaves. When she leaves, and there's Drew waiting for her because Jake had already taken off. But she says she's got a new boyfriend, and he's got money. He got his fancy new sports car. Pulls up to pick her up, leaves Drew there, and then Drew, what? Our first sign of the monsters. Oh, monster! Cool monster design. I like these monsters, reminiscent of the gatekeepers from the Ghostbusters, the first Ghostbusters movie. And Drew is attacked by the monster, but Jake comes out of nowhere and he selflessly jumps on the monster, deflecting it, but he gets severely injured. His arm is mauled, while Drew gets a shovel from the pickup and smashes the brains of the monster with that shovel, with this glowing blue goo that oozes out of the brains. And the goo gets all over Jake and his injured arm, and going to take him to the hospital. But then his arm just suddenly heals. Oh, what is this? And then they get, what is this? Where? And they decide to take it with them. And it's too big for him to get into the pickup and put in the pickup, but they tie it up and drag it along behind him at home. And see the cop as they go across the bridge, and the cop is sitting there sleeping in his car, and they drive right by. And then you see they're being shadowed, and then attacked by another monster, and they're attacked by the monster. Oh, and they're trying to hustle, trying to get home. They hurriedly slam into the garage and put down the roll-up doors. Bam, bam, bam. The monster's on the outside. The next day, they're trapped there. They can't. So because the monster's outside, and the next day, they wake up and Jake has a monster arm. Oh my gosh! It must have been the goo. And what else? The monster arm is super strong. So they're trapped all day in the garage with the monster out there. So they got to get out of there. They got to let people know about the monster. So they pull an A-team and they work on that pickup. There's the monster. Sun's going down. It's ready to bust out. Waiting for whatever's going to happen, and they bust out. It's got the first monster's head right on the hood of the of the pickup, and they have armored up the pickup. So they go hustling out, boom, 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 and he uses a monster arm to punch that big old monster. But the monster gets him, knocks them off the road, and the monster and the pickup go down a ravine, killing the monster. But what? Oh, what's all this? Looks like monster caviar. Ah, yeah, that's what it is. Then we flash to Vanessa's house, and where she lives with her dad, who is a retired cop. And screaming about a bug, Dad helps and makes her some eggs. And while they're talking, then suddenly, boom! Oh, stuck together. Ooh, right through the window, something crashes, gets piercing her dad through the. It's a giant monster bug-like thing, and it's killed her dad and takes his body off. Bzzz. Meanwhile, here are the boys cruising down the road, and seeing that the arm is decaying a little bit. They get to the police station because they think they're not going to be believed. The cop has no problems believing them because they were stuck in there for over a day by that monster. Meanwhile, there have been other monster reports and says, yep, monsters, yeah, I know, I understand. Shows the cooler. It's got one of the eggs from that monster, what do you call it? What did I say? Caviar in the cooler. So they go, they squirrel it away in the police station, and they're getting out there. The cops are going out, sending someone to get the state police and National Guard or whatever. Well, they're going, got to go see Vanessa. She gets there, and the new boyfriend is there, he doesn't look happy about nothing, especially when she embraces Drew. Oh, my dad. They heard about the dad. Said he's got to go, and he, just for demonstration purposes, get a big old juicy kiss on the girl, and he takes off in his sports car. This is when they talk with the girl, Vanessa, and they show her the monster arm. Says, the arm is beginning to decay, and she's horrified by it. But and they're talking and said, well, that monster that got Dad left this behind. It must have been cut. So it got this green glowing goo, which he had in the fridge. He took a look, and he just guzzled it right down. Whoop! Oh, and his arm heals right up. Boom! So they're gonna go try to hunt down the monster, and she trying to tell her to stay behind. She said, "Nope, I'm coming with you." She gets her dad's guns. And this is the direction where the monster went. Find a smashed-in barn with looks like some webbing. Peeking around, they see there's a cow in the field right there. Then suddenly the cow's gone. Hey, where'd the cow go? Then the remains of the cow go splat, and they're attacked by the monster bug. Grabs the girl. Well, she's not quite as defenseless as one might expect. She had the handgun in her waistband and blasts the crap out of the bug. So they take off. They're at the house, the boy's house, and trying to eat some cereals. And suddenly he realizes he's barfing up stuff. He can't eat regular food, it seems. And they come up. They concoct a big old monster weapon, a harpoon, mounted on the back of the pickup, and they're out. Go back to the barn. There's the bug coming back, and they're going to. And Drew is snatched by the bug before he can get harpooned. So they're chasing, and chasing the bug, and then finally, boom! Got the bug with the harpoon. But snaps the chain, takes off, but still taking off with the guy, and his brother follows up. He climbs up, and he stops the bug dead. Boom. And then, but it's not quite dead. And then Vanessa smashes the remains of the bug with the armored pickup. And Jake, he starts munching down on the bug, and thinks that's gross, but he needs it. And it's now they're saying, I wonder where these bugs came from. You see the serial number on part of the carapace of the giant bug. Somebody's making them. And then we see Jake's arm has mutated. It's changed. It's more like the bug monster with a claw. Meanwhile, a bunny monster has attacked the police station, killing all the cops. They get in town, and the town is deserted. There are a lot of places that are busted up. People have either left or have been killed, except for the boyfriend. He's right there. Oh, we're so glad to see you all okay. And they're not happy to see him. And he's horrified. Then the bunny monster smashes out of the police station, and he's got the cooler. And he's after the cooler because it's remembrance of their mother, that cooler. And Jake goes after the cooler. And I think that's so stupid. The cooler's not worth it. So they're following after into a grocery store. Where the bunny is eating some steaks. Then they have to be scrunching down, hiding, and it comes up with the idea. Someone's making him. It's got to be this place because he looks like the mascot on the breakfast cereal. Uh-oh. And then the bunny monster attacks. And fight, and gets the cooler. The egg is out of the cooler, and the bunny goes for the egg, gets the egg and takes off, but they got the cooler. Meanwhile, the girl and the boyfriend, Vanessa and the boyfriend, are getting some of her stuff packed up so they can leave the county, get the heck out of there. And say, oh, I have to go back out to my car for a minute. I have to check something. It's raining out there. I said, be careful. Okay. And we see the bunny monster. Uh-oh. And the bunny monster bows down to him and gives him the egg. Comes back in, and she's got the gun pointing right at him and says, I saw you out there. I saw you with the monster. So you're in on this. And she tapes him to the coffee table, beats the crap out of him, gets his ID and takes the gun and goes to because he works for the cereal company, the big conglomerate company that also just happens to make cereal. And she's going to see if she can find out something about her dad or whatever. So she goes there, and the boys think the same. They go to see Vanessa. The door's open, everything all smashed up, and nearly accidentally harpoons his brother. Then they're going on, and they see a tank. This is a tank. Nobody around. Tank, and say, well, the tank is half smashed, and I don't think they notice. If you can see it, the tank is smashed because it's part of a giant monster footprint, but they don't see it. Then another bug monster zipping by and is being pursued and destroyed by a military helicopter. Yay! And the boys, the timing here is great. They see that and say, I hope we're winning. Zoom, chugga, 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 blah, 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 blah. They're cheering. Yay! They got the bug monster. And then a giant Godzilla-sized monster pops his head up and swallows the helicopter. Says, we're not winning. And they go to here we are at the company. They get there. And they, remember, it's where there used to be a fairgrounds, and they know how they used to sneak in there. So they go to sneak in through the drain that they used to. Drew goes in, and he is attacked by a giant eyeball squid monster. And of course Jake comes in to help. Next we see the girl, Vanessa, inside using her boyfriend's ID to get in, snooping around, seeing a monster there. Well, it used to be the guard, apparently. And we see tentacle, eyeball tentacle, popping up through a drain. And then, it's Jake. It's Jake and his brother. His arm has changed again into the tentacle. So they're wandering around, and they get in. Here in this lab area, there are all these bazillions of monsters in these tanks. And there we see the boyfriend with the bunny monster and other monsters backing him up, and he doesn't look right. And they're all together and said, yes, but are you a monster? He's taking these pills because that turns out that these pills inhibit. It's some kind of concoction ahead that will heal people, but it turns them into monsters. And they get all this stuff from these genetically engineered monsters from the goo in there. They don't know where they got the original monster DNA, but they're growing them. And he's bitching, griping. And so with these monsters, it's all A-okay. Just take these pills and you're fine, yada, yada, yada. So, and she pulls the gun on him. And the bunny monster defends him, smacks the gun out of the way, but not before the boyfriend is winged. And that's when he loses it, and he transforms into full-blown monster mode. Jake fights back, defending everyone, and Drew fighting the bunny monster. But the boyfriend monster gets everybody but Jake. But then we see Jake, when he had a couple of moments, he got syringes of this monster DNA. I'm going to fix it. And he plunges these syringes into himself, and he monsters out, blum blum, and he's a mosaic of all kinds of monsters. So the two monsters fight. So that frees the other two. They get bars and stuff, and start smashing the tanks containing the monsters and things. And all these other monsters who are suddenly freed, they go after the boyfriend monster. Wham! And they're eating him alive. Trump, trump, trump. They get outside. They wind up. Jake's back to normal except for the monster arm. And he said, how'd that happen? Well, we got some of the pills. We got some of that medicine. We got enough for maybe a couple of years for you until we can try to find a way to cure you. And then, so we got to get out of here. The guy is being chomped by the monsters. I don't know if that got rid of the monsters or what, but we got to get out of here. So that's how it ends. They take off and says, is that all the monsters? Well, if not, we'll be right there. We've got our work cut out for us. They're going to plan on killing monsters. We kill monsters. Oh, that was good. That was so good. I just loved that story. So much fun, and it took so much longer than I intended to tell you about it. But it is a lot of fun. And I do recommend it if you want to try to read that. And you can see it's very cinematic. It feels very cinematic. A lot of fun. Please like, share, and subscribe. Do leave your comments about We Kill Monsters. And remember, comics are art.